Hey, Andy Freeman here from Space to Breathe. This week is Mental Health Awareness Week. You probably have picked that up because it's everywhere. And that's one of the good things about our current kind of climate and our current kind of culture is that we can talk about mental health more. Brilliant, really, really good. The theme of it is movement. And I don't know how you feel about that. And one of the things that I am aware of as we talk more about mental health is that sometimes it can feel like a pressure. It can feel like something I have to do or another thing to worry about. Or even when we feel low and sad, we might feel a pressure to be more positive. The reality is it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay when we feel angry or sad. It's okay to let those emotions out because that's the healthy thing to do. We feel lighter and better when we do. So in the work that I do, I wouldn't ever want to convey to you that you have to do something, that you have to feel something. It's about empowering you to do what feels right for you so that you can be healthier. So movement's a funny subject because some of us find it easier than others. Some of us find it very easy to be active. Some of us feel like that's a bit of a pressure. Crikey, I've got to get to the gym, or I've got to get more healthy, or I've got to do this to be more toned or be more muscular or be just, fitter. And the reality is movement helps us. Movement helps us to feel that our mental health is better, but pressure doesn't help us. I remember going on holiday to an island in the Mediterranean and being the only bloke wearing a t-shirt amongst all these muscles and everything like that, feeling incredibly intimidated. And I feel like that when I go to the gym, the times that I have. And so often I'll work out on my own, if I'm honest with you, because I feel a bit pressured by that kind of environment. So what do we do about movement if movement isn't something you find very easy? I just wanted to share a few things that I'm trying because I don't find movement particularly easy. I got some aches and pains. I've got some kind of things that I feel a little bit uncomfortable about sometimes. And so I just wanted to share some of the things that are just as effective as going to the gym or picking up a sport or doing weights or having that kind of very active lifestyle. And if movement is a struggle for you, see if these help you. So the reason movement is good for our mental health, there's probably three reasons. One, physiologically, chemicals are released, hormones are released that enable you to feel better. Various different things like adrenaline, endorphins will just make you feel better. If you've ever exercised, you feel better. You can also feel quite physically tired, and so at the end of the day, actually that exercise might help you sleep better, which might be a really good thing too. But then you'll find your body will feel more active, more alive. It's almost like a posture thing, a positive thing. The same's true if we move less, we might feel a bit more subdued, might be a bit lower. We might be struggling a little bit more with our emotions and feelings. Well, one of the problems, at least I find with movement, is I do a job around a desk. And so I can often find myself sitting for quite a long time. So one really practical thing is to get up when you're working. And if you can, try and construct something where you can stand for a little while and type if you're doing that. Or you can stand to take a call, or you can just move around, taking breaks where you walk different places, you get on your feet a little bit more. So the second thing I try and do is to try and walk when I can. So it's not always possible. Weather's a bit rubbish today, so I'm getting out just quickly while I can do. So sometimes, I might choose to walk rather than take public transport or to drive or any of those kind of things. Now again, it's not always possible, but thinking about ways that maybe you can do something in a more moving kind of way. And, movement of any sort kind of helps us out. But just deciding, well, okay, I'll get out of the office for 10 minutes on my lunch break and go for a walk. Or I won't take the tram today, I'll walk somewhere. So thirdly, we can move to be aware of our present. And I've talked before about how important that is, that in our worries, we're often in the past or the future, worrying about what's happened before, dragging that with us, or anticipating things that might happen in the future and getting worried and stressed about that. So drawing yourself back into the now can be done through movement, through stretching out a leg, pressing your toes into the ground and feeling it. Even little movements like this, they might seem really small, but they can make quite a big difference. One I do quite often is pushing my toes and my heels into the ground to remind myself I'm right here, right now. So then when we do get to things like exercise, playing a sport, doing an activity, going to the gym, the biggest thing I've learned is do things that you enjoy and that feel good to your body. What does your body tell you about those things? So I mentioned at the start, I don't find gyms that good a place for me. I end up just feeling a little bit kind of like not so good about myself. Now maybe that will change in the future. But one thing I have found I really like is doing boxing relating things. And I took this up quite later in life, and you think, oh, a guy in his 50s, boxing, really? But I really enjoy it. I find it's really good for me physically. I exercise quite well. My body feels good as a result of it. And it's fun. And I think somewhere along the line we can lose fun. And when we have fun, we'll feel better. And then the last one I want to share is a movement I do at the beginning of each working day. And it's one that really opens me out and helps me to feel better in myself. And that's this movement. I begin with my hands together. I'll lift them and wheel my arms round in a circular motion and bring my hands back together again. And I'll do it one more time. Starting position, opening up and round. And I just find that opens me up. And it seems such a small thing, but I find I feel better. I feel I'm more open in myself. And these kind of little physical movements can be prompts that can help us to do different things. The thing here is movement helps us. If you've ever been sat on an armchair and you don't feel great and you're watching telly and you're just sinking into the sofa, we've all had days like that, and there's again no guilt with that. But it doesn't help us. So when we feel low, when we feel like a bit flat in ourselves, movement can help us in terms of our emotional posture as well as our physical one, and that movement really helps me. So I hope this has all been useful. 5 little ideas for someone who doesn't find movement and activity and sport and all those things the easiest thing in the world, but also things that might be a little bit this kind of guilt and a bit more helpful. Whatever you do, whatever movement you're involved in, whatever thing that you're doing to mark this Mental Health Awareness Week, I hope you're really well. Look after yourself. Our details are at the end of this video if we can help you with anything. But in the meantime, take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.